Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our All-Recoervry hybrid meeting. My name is Craig. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too, Craig, man. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Welcome, man. My man Mike, one of your grateful recovery coaches. Let me share this so everybody can tune in, because we got so many people worldwide. I like how that sound, man. We got people worldwide.
Worldwide.
So we got people tuned in all over. So we want to make sure we open up the floodgates and let people tune in. Let's see, who else I want to share with? All right.
Open up the floodgate.
Let them flood in. Hey, today we're gonna have some. We're gonna go over a PowerPoint. We're gonna do a PowerPoint presentation. We're just gonna go through a little things, and let me tell you the topic. The topic today is going to be about 8 dimensions of recovery capital. We're just doing a synopsis because soon we're going to be having groups dealing with recovery capital because it's very important. I talk to a lot of different individuals, and I try to stress as much as possible how important it is after you get away from the substance. Like a lot of times people are so focused on getting away from the chemical aspect of recovery that they forget about the whole recovery capital process. And I think that is very important, and I can't stress it enough, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some particular things that I have here, and let's see what we got. And you can elaborate, comment, like, concern, criticism. We're gonna go over some PowerPoints here. We're gonna go through any little particular thing. We're gonna see what we got. All right.
Yeah, hit that share button out there too. Hit the like button, hit the share button.
All right. So the 8 dimensions of recovery capital. Do you know the basics? So we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna go down here. So some of the things we want to discuss during this particular recovery capital. We got so many different pathways. And you have the clinical pathways, and then you have the non-clinical pathways, and then you got self-management, and you got all types of different pathways, which we teach all the time, different pathways.
Absolutely.
So recovery defined, they define recovery, Samson, a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. Recovery is more than simply abstinence from alcohol or a drug. That is so. This is very vital. I gotta pull over, pause, and park right here. I'm gonna pull that down for a moment. I just was mentioning that.
Just an open introduction.
Because a lot of times the individuals believe that that's the end all right there, but that's not really the end. You got a lot of things that you have to work on when you're dealing with recovery capital, okay?
Like anger issues,
yeah,
relationship issues,
a lot of different things, man.
Because I believe this PowerPoint is gonna go deep into it, but those are two right off my head.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's see what else we got. Let's go a little deep, okay? Let's jump in, we'll put it up.
Let's talk about it.
So go ahead, Rick, Craig.
All right, and so as you can see, this is by Samson. 4 major dimensions that support a life include, all right, health, very important. Your health is very, very important. Defined as overcoming or managing one's diseases or symptoms by making informed, healthy choices that support physical and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
All right. And the other one is your home. Your home is defined as having a safe and stable place to live.
One of the things on our question, on our intake form.
Yeah.
Do you have stable?
That's right. Accommodation.
Yeah. And that's why we asked that.
Right. You have a stable household or independent living, or do you need support in those areas? Community, having relationships and social networks that provide support, friendship, love, and hope. And the last dimension, and that is purpose. Defined conduction, meaningful daily activities such as a job, school, volunteerism, family care, taking or creative endeavors, having the independence, income, and resources to participate in society.
So those are what Samson calls the four major dimensions. These are the four areas, and we literally on our intake forms when we talk to individuals, we ask about health. You know, what you rate your health?
Your mental health,
great,
your physical health.
Right. We asked about that. Then we asked about the stable housing. Do you have stable housing? We asked about all these things before. Watch this. This before we connect them to a treatment provider.
Absolutely.
So that's how important these things are. So recovery capital is very important. So we'll be exploring recovery capital. This is some brief history right here. If you would like this PowerPoint, you just can put your email in the comment section, and I will email you the PowerPoint free of charge. We wouldn't even charge.
Oh, wow.
I already got the PowerPoint printed, done. It's all right. But these links are live. What I mean by that, you can click all these links and it will direct you to some more information. You know what I mean? So let's go. So it says recovery capital, defining it. Recovery capital refers to the internal and external resources necessary to achieve and sustain recovery. You know, I like to use that word sustain or maintain right there.
Yeah.
The recovery capital model recognizes that a variety of the dimensions: personal capital, social capital, community capital, emotional support, commitment to sobriety. I got a teaching that I do, and I talk about contributions versus commitment. And I tell people what's the difference. So you got commitment to sobriety and well-being can support or jeopardize recovery depending on how individuals use their capital. Ongoing assessment, strengths, and gaps in each dimension helps build a solid foundation in recovery over time. Again, we just going over the 8 dimensions of recovery capital. Do you know the basics? This is just the basics of what recovery capital basically consists of.
Ongoing assessment.
Come on.
Of your strengths and gaps.
Ongoing.
So it's basically you do a review of that which you already working on and see how can you tweak it, or improve it,
or fill the gaps. It might be a gap. Remember, I told you when a person has a recovery management plan in place, if a person suffers a relapse, they have to change something about that plan, that treatment plan, recovery plan. It's a gap somewhere. How do I know? You relapse. That's how I know something in your plan needs to be filled in. And it might be a gap. So you got to have all that done.
You got to work on it. You got to work on yourself.
All right. Go ahead. You take the first one. I'll take second.
Okay. The first one is talking about personal capital. Personal capital, my personal internal resources, such as my skills, values, educations, hope, and aspiration, and my external resources, such as property and money. Discovery card examples include: I am making good progress on my recovery journey. In general, I am happy with my life. I take full responsibility for my actions.
It's personal.
That's very essential. You know, taking ownership.
It's personal. You personalize it.
Absolutely. Whether it's external factors or internal factors, we got to continue to take ownership of these things. So that talks about your personal capital. That because a lot of times people that coming home from recovery, they're not really fully equipped to deal with some of the internal and the external factors. And so that's why we as recovery coaches
come alongside
them and help them build up their strength. Empowerment. That's the word.
I like that word.
Instead
of being a crutch, I'm going to empower you to walk. It's social capital. First one we talked about there was personal capital, right? I think we got somebody. See who that is. All right, good day, man. All right.
Wow.
Let's check on our comments, concerns, criticism. All right, what do you say?
What's going on?
It's a great day to be clean. Absolutely.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Like you, man. Love
Thank
you back
you,
on. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. So right now we're gonna go back to the PowerPoint presentation. We'll go here. Now remember, we're talking about social capital now. So it says my social resources and support from relationships with social networks that require commitment, I love that word, or obligations such as family, friends, schools, self-help groups, employers, other social groups. The discovery card example include, these are discovery cards that we're going to possibly have available one day. I get a lot of support from friends. That's good. I regard my life as challenging and fulfilling without the need for using drugs and alcohol. I am proud of the community I live in and feel a part of it.
Oh,
Woo! That's after you go through change. Yeah, that's broke. Yeah, because before you was tearing it up. That was me. I'm gonna speak for myself. I mean, he was doing it too. But
keep the focus on
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a dime on it. Hey, I was tearing the community up, but now I am proud of the community I live in because I feel a part of that community because I'm helping individuals in the community that I am currently in.
That's great, man. That's great, man. I heard the conversation one day, and the guy said, "Man, listen, do you know Mick?" I said, "Man, do I know Mick?" He said, "Man, Mick come a long way. It ain't no but God."
He was terrible.
He said, "Mick, terrible."
Yeah, he was bad.
But it's going to show you, we don't live in the after or in the before. We live in the after. Yeah. So that's what you see right now. You see the after effect, not the before.
Yeah.
All right. So what we got, Mike?
All right. Next, go ahead.
Community capital. So important. Important dimension expanded. All right. It says community capital. My access to local community resources such as reasonable housing, training, employment opportunities, and transportation. Discovery card examples include: I attend recovery group meetings on a weekly basis or more frequently. I attend recovery social events. I encourage others to attend my or other recovery group. And so now that someone got themselves together, they're helping to encourage somebody else and pulling them along and say, "Hey, listen, I know a great place to attend a group. It's a friendly place to be at, and so why don't you work on some of the things that I worked on, such as housing, training, employment opportunities, and transportation."
That's good stuff.
Good, man.
Emotional support. My support for my emotional needs for my social networks. I get the emotional support I need from other people. I get the emotional help I need from other people. I get the emotional advice I need from other people. So you need emotional support. A lot of times we hold on to a lot of things before we might be going through things emotionally. It doesn't make you, like something wrong with you. We all go through things emotionally. But what do we do when we're going through those emotional things? That's why emotional support is one of the recovery capitals that a lot of individuals. Well, again, I started off, if you just tuning in, I started off and saying a lot of people put all the emphasis on the substance part of it. But it's so much more. Yeah. It has been 13 years since I actually touched any substance at all, right? But that did not stop me from working on all areas of my recovery walk. It was different areas, community, my emotional, all that. You have to work on that. And a lot of times people focus on just that aspect of the substance or the alcohol, and they totally miss the fact that it's a process that they have to go through.
I like these cards because we just talked about personal capital, social capital. Now we just talked about community capital, emotional support, capital. It's a whole host.
Hey, listen, man.
I don't know where you found it at, but
this is the group I'm going to be doing. I'm gonna do a nice course, and I'm gonna make the flyer and put it out there for y'all so y'all can come be a part of this building our recovery capital. It's talking about the 8 dimensions of recovery capital. Do you know the basics? it's a basic understanding of what recovery capital really is. And this is my little PowerPoint that I had put together for me. All right, let's see what I got. Go ahead, Mr. Daniel.
Commitment to sobriety. Now, this is major. This is so important because this is what most people focus on only.
Yeah.
As you might have said before, the substance issue. My motivation for and commitment to establishing and maintaining sobriety for substance use. The discovery card gives us an example, and it talks about staying sober is the most important thing in my life. I am totally committed to staying off drugs and alcohol. I never want to return to alcohol or drug use again. And so that is very, very important for those who are suffering from the use of drugs or alcohol, because a lot of times, well, we know if we don't have the right coping skills involved in our lives, we either do a few of these things. We become manipulative, conning, baffling, and our thought process become distorted.
Distorted thinking. All right, that's good. Commitment to sobriety. I love it. I love commitment. You gotta be. I remember I mentioned contribution versus commitment. A lot of people are making contributions to their recovery process. I say when you make a contribution, you go to meetings sometimes. When you committed, you go to it as much as you need. Like it's a difference. You going to do this today? Nah, I ain't gonna do it. You know, and that's not a commitment. That's contribution. So we're talking about well-being. My perception of my personal well-being that brings together my mental, emotional, physical health, and overall life satisfaction with my living arrangements and social support network. I am satisfied with the quality of my living arrangement. I am satisfied with my physical health. I am satisfied with my overall quality of life. My well-being. You see how it added mental, emotional, and physical and life satisfaction, all in one. What's that word? Inclusive, all of it together. You know what I mean? So you got to remember the well-being. Am I satisfied with the quality of my living arrangement? Am I satisfied with my physical health? Can I eat better? Can I sleep better? Can I do some exercise? You know, am I satisfied with my overall quality of life? This is all consistent in the well-being of recovery capital. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, that goes back to that ongoing assessment.
Ongoing assessment in gap areas.
Woo! Getting heavy in here.
Heavy, we ride with it.
All right, so now the next one, dimension we want to talk about barriers.
Yeah.
Barriers, the obstacles or barriers that prevent my access to or progress in building recovery strengths, such as ongoing substance use, risk around injecting practices, involvement with crime or the justice system, homelessness or insecure housing, and lack of meaningful activities. And so if we're not connected to the proper resources, some of these things can cause us to relapse. And the thing about relapse, some of these things we can fall back into the behaviors of being a part of the justice system, homelessness, insecure housing, lack of meaningful activities. And so the barrier card talks about I have been at risk of eviction or had acute housing problems in the last 30 days. I am not currently working full-time or part-time, in school or volunteering, right? And so that goes back to the meaningful activity. What are you doing with the time that we all provided 24 hours, right? 24 hours in a day is what do you do with the time that you're given? I am in current contact with the criminal justice system through probation, house arrest, or other reasons. And so
Good stuff.
So barriers. So
Unmet needs.
unmet needs.
But I like the barrier part. Remember, we always be trying to help people with housing, transportation, because we always say it. That's a barrier. For instance, we give you a good example. If a person we're connected to lives in, I gotta remember that people gonna see this and don't know what we're talking about. We're in 30 minutes away from a particular town. If that person lives in that particular town, then it will be a barrier for us to connect him to an outpatient treatment 30 minutes away from where he is if he don't have no transportation.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do to alleviate or get rid of a barrier for him is to connect him somewhere closer where he can walk to it. So barriers happens all the time. So what the recovery coach is supposed to do, try to focus on how can we alleviate or get rid of some of the barriers that the people who have a substance use issue have.
And man, you real smooth, man. I like how you slid that in there without name dropping. Well, I like it.
So we're going to talk about unmet needs. My perception of shortfalls or unmet needs in the professional support and help I receive in areas such as housing, substance use, employment, relationships, and primary and mental health. I have unmet unemployment support needs. I have unmet housing support needs. I have unmet primary health care needs. So all these unmet needs are areas that in your recovery capital, you want to try to get help with dealing with those things. Because why is it unmet needs important? Because when you have all these unmet needs, you automatically throw in the towel, so to speak, and say, I'm going back to doing what I'm doing. But that's why we have recovery coaches. We want to help you try to fix some of those unmet needs.
That's why it's good to be in contact with your sponsor, your counselor, your coaches, your spiritual advisor. Don't just throw in the towel because there's so much help out here for so many people. You just have to tap into the right people and get connected with the right resources.
That's right. Good stuff, good stuff. So we're going to think is questions here. All right, these is going to be questions that we have for when we do this class in here and virtually. It said, did you find recovery capital model helpful in thinking about how to build and sustain recovery over time?
Then number 2, it says, did the 8 dimensions help you to better pinpoint specific strengths or gaps? How were these categories helpful?
Which dimension was most prominent in your list? Does this make sense?
As you look back over relevant drinking or using history, what was most helpful from the list? Least helpful.
Which specific recovery capital behaviors do you think will be the most important to strengthen?
What action can you take to help you address these areas and make them strengths in the future?
And who can you ask for help and support? And that will be the PowerPoint presentation that we had for today. And we were talking about the 8 dimensions of the recovery capital. Do you know the basics?
Do you know the
we
basics?
did a brief synopsis, gave you the basics, and we gave you some questions. If you have any questions for us or anything that we didn't discuss, or you want to elaborate on anything that we did share, please get in contact with us.
Absolutely.
That was some good information that we just provided. Share the video, like, comment, subscribe. Got any criticism, any concern, email Craig DI at
But on a sincere note, we enjoy doing this type of activity because you can do, if you don't even utilize all 8 of them, there at least got to be at least 2. I'm gonna up the ante. At least 4 of them.
All right.
At least 4 of them you should be working on.
And we all remember your recovery capital when he spoke about it. It's ongoing. You know, it's you can always have evaluation or assessment, or you want to always go back to them and reevaluate those things. And anytime possible, if you see a gap, you got to fill that gap. All right. So thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all soon.
Been a great show, been fun.
Nice.